Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Blackheart signing black in and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. This message is about BGS IBMOR's theoretical plan that could save the black community. I say theoretical because he himself just said it is theoretical. It would require having complete control before the community could be saved, and before this could even be implemented to save the community. And that is a system of arranged marriages. I've said before that Islam is the solution, and it contains the solutions for black folk and really for any oppressed people. I also ask you to please not take my word for it or against it. Don't assume that it's right or wrong just because I said it. And I have to say it that way because I've dealt with people who take one look at me and assume that everything I've said is wrong. Usually they were black. I've also had some people who took one look at me and thought that I was more likely to be right than they were. I've said to you, research it for yourself. And I could say that we could put in the Islamic system of marriages, which involves arrangement of the parents. But it would have to be done the way that it is prescribed in the Sharia. The lady does need a male relative. If not a male relative, then a male representative that can vet the man, because men understand each other. I should say men can read each other. Women understand men, but men can read each other. Women think they can read individual men, especially lost women like Western women, think that they can read individual men. And I'm going to say this, one of the things about which black women are worse than white women in the West is thinking they can read an individual man. Girl, I can just look at him and tell X, Y, Z and that. No, you can't. So the men can read other men. And therefore, she has to have a male either relative first or representative, if none is available, to read the man that's interested in her. The man does not require the permission of his parents, although it's just generally understood that his parents are going to know something about what to look for that he doesn't know. That also factors in. I'm going to tell you this. In the Islamic system, it is arranged, but the woman still has to agree, or there's no marriage. And this is so that she has no excuse when she winds up with a man that she finds repulsive. She does not have the excuse to cheat. She does not have the excuse to disrespect him and treat him badly. Her best bet is to simply say, I cannot agree to marry him. Next. Now, this system can work if you combine what we have with what BGS has said. No two African Americans get together. They're going to be African American women that are exceptions. They're good enough to be with anyone, but they're also, they're also compatible with men from more patriarchal cultures. How will you know who they are after they get married? It's simple. If an African American woman marries a man from a patriarchal culture and he never marries another woman, then that's a sign that she's not driving him off. If she marries him and he immediately needs to marry someone else, she's bringing that BS to him. And that's part of why I would say that in order for these women to be corrected, they can't marry men that are not already married. Simply put, can't have a husband to themselves. I'm not really sure that it could work, but it's worth a shot. However, even if we have a stable community, let's say we just bounced out the states and left the daggle here, or we outnumbered them, so we sent the daggle out. Even in the event that that could happen, there's one other thing that has to be done by us men. The men must be willing to tell the truth about their female relatives to the other men that are potential in-laws. That is necessary. That means that if a young man is coming, he wants to talk about marrying your niece, and you've been looking after your niece since her parents were gone, raising her with your babies. You tell that man the truth. my niece has these weaknesses and you're bringing these strengths. And I want to make sure that this is a deal that you can take. Because frankly, young blood, if this is a bad deal for you, you're not wrong for saying so. Even if I love my niece, she lazy, or she always waking up late and you waking up early. She's not the type of person that listens to other people's opinions. You know, you got to tell the truth. This means that you're not just there as a filter for bad guys from your lady relative. You are also there to filter your bad lady relatives from good guys. This is what people fail to understand. And this is not only black people that don't know this. Arabs don't know this and how long they've been Muslim. Pakistanis and Indians don't know this. How long have they been either Hindu or Muslim? What I'm saying is that many men forget that their job is not only to keep away bad dudes from their good lady relatives, but to keep their bad lady relatives from good dudes. They forget this. Preferably to raise these lady relatives and guide them so that they don't become bad deals. That's the other thing. Now, if we can remember this, then all the other stuff will be secondary. See, when you have these systems of arranged marriage, one of the things that it does is that right off the bat, it sends women a message. Your hybristophilia is not going to be satisfied. It's not even a legitimate instinct. You have the right to not want a man that is a coward and a little punk. A Rottweiler comes running down the street. He climbs a tree and leaves you on the ground, hoping to run when the Rottweiler's busy tearing you up. You have the right to not want a man that's that kind of coward. But he also has the right to not want you to be that kind of coward. He also has that right. So if he boosts you up the tree so you can climb the tree while he stands off the Rottweiler, you going to break off a big stick and hand it down to him so he can hit the thing on the head? Or you going to be screaming, crying up in the branches? He has that right. See, this goes both ways. Yeah, we the protector, but you're going to help him protect you or not? A lot of women ain't raised to think that way. And one of the reasons is because we men don't raise our daughters this way. And any other women we might raise, female relatives. One of the reasons is because, you see, you look at these women that don't have no dads, that's one thing. What about the ones who had dads or a father figure, an uncle, a grandfather, someone that was there, an older brother that looked after them, and they got a sense of self-worth, but they still are bad wives? What about these women? Where'd they learn that from? It was enabled by simping ass male relatives, because you don't only simp when you with your girlfriend or your wife. You also a simp when you tell your daughters or your nieces or your younger sisters that they're automatically worth all this stuff just because they're your relative and they're cute and they're female. Because they don't grow facial hair. And you don't make them understand that they need to be a damn adult to qualify for an adult. This is necessary. So when your niece, your daughter, your baby sister is born, you must understand that she is someone's future wife and you raise her accordingly. We failed in that. The boomers before us, and they inherited us a system, or they handed to us a system in which we repeated the same error. You think your daughter is just your daughter when she comes out your wife's womb? You think your baby sister is just your baby sister when she comes out the mom's womb? Really? That's what you think? And we see a lot of women make this mistake also with their sons. They make the mistake of thinking, okay, that's my son. Yeah, that's also somebody's future wife. You going to mess him up, or you going to tell him the truth about women and what they want, what games they're going to play, and how he needs to avoid it? Oh, yeah, when your nephew was born, oh, that's my nephew. Yeah, he's also somebody's future wife. When your grandson is born, oh, that's my grandbaby. Yeah, but that's somebody's future wife. You're going to tell him what he needs to know when he's young so that somebody else can't come along and lie to him, since you know they're going to lie to him, or are you not going to do it? What's it going to be? See, if women want to talk about 50-50, if we all been doing each other wrong, well, that's what we've been doing each other wrong. But then again, by the same token, At the end of the day, again, we men have not made things difficult enough compared to how women have made things too difficult. And so that's why it's still a bigger neglect when they do this. But now we know. So arranged marriages may be necessary. She still needs to approve, but arranged marriages there needs to be some sort of elder parental figure input when the woman's making her decision, because we know what they're going to choose when they don't have that. And we know what you have to choose to do and be in a system where she doesn't have that sort of parental guiding influence. She can't see the good in you. Now, let's say she was raised by a single mother, and her mother's telling her, look, that guy's good. You don't need to treat him this badly. Oh, Mom, what do you know? You've been single how long? Now it's my turn, because that's a single mom raising him. Now, when it's a father that says, hold up. Now, you and he agreed to get married. Y'all said y'all liked each other. And I don't hear or see nothing about him running these streets with anybody else. And you sitting up here telling your girls on the phone right now that you want to go to the strip club. But he better not go to a strip club. What the F is wrong with you? Kind of crazy are you? See, I think I said enough. I think you get the idea. At the end of the day, we're just going to have to deal with the fact that whatever the solution is going to be, it's going to have to be drastic. But we men are also going to have to deal with the fact that the biggest mistake we've made is that we made things too easy while they made things too difficult. And that's also something we're going to have to reverse, even in these arranged marriages. Okay, you know what? I love you. You my daughter. I raised you right. So I don't mind looking for you a good dude too. Okay, you know what? You my daughter. I raised you right. But wait a minute. You didn't take what I raised. You still hard-headed. You don't listen. You stubborn. You fight. You argue with everybody. You cutting people off. I'm going to tell the guy about these things. Not because I hate you, but to be fair to him. Just like if he was bad for you, it's my job to come and tell you he bad for you, I'm not approving. And to tell him I don't approve. Well, guess what? Same thing in reverse. I got to be fair about this. Whatever system we implement is going to have that element in it. And it's going to have to be some sort, whatever difficulty the women have around them that we're supposed to scale and climb over to get to them, there has to be in reverse as well. And we need to enforce that. That's it. Because at this point, what we're dealing with is a system in which it just sort of deteriorated into this, a pattern in which they take too much joy in turning men down, but only the men they shouldn't turn down. Only. And the only thing that gives them greater joy than that is in accepting a hookup with the guys that already have so many options they'll never commit. And accepting that. And becoming pessimistic because they all want the same few men, but they can't get them to commit. And they all have to wind up settling for commitment from the guys they don't really want in the first place. And now they're all pessimistic about it. Which is part of why it is that Western women love to say to Western men who decide to opt out of the system, oh, you can't get no vagina. It's like a prison guard in Alcatraz bragging to the inmates, oh, you can't escape this prison. Yeah, look how the state designed the prison and look at you and look at all the surveillance equipment and the guard dogs that you have and every barrier in the way. You set it up that way. Of course I can't escape. Why are you mocking me for that? Why would you mock anybody for that? We change uniforms. You can't escape either, nigga. You see, that's the thing that we've allowed them to say to us. And now it's time we turn around and set it up to where we can say to them, if they really want to get out of line, you can barely give the vagina away, and you definitely can't keep a man. Certainly not a man that has at least one other option in a woman. I mean, look at you. If a man has one other option in women, he can either be with you or be with another woman. He's going to be with the other woman because look how you act and look what you're doing. We've got to set it up that way. Be difficult. And one of the best ways to be difficult is to be absent and committed elsewhere. That's why SBM is still a necessity, even if we implement this whole arranged marriage. If that becomes a system, you still got to have passports. You still need that. You got to make it a captive market. Now, I think I said enough, and I hope that one day what I've said will have already stabilized the reality. Hopefully one day in the future. In the meantime, I hope that what I've said helps you out. Black heart, signing black out. Assalamu alaikum and black male power just because they don't like it.